Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Sunrise Small Talk episode number 74. Today, I've got my car out. We're going to be talking all about cars and what to do with cars when it comes to estate planning. So let's dive in. One of the more common questions I get when looking at an estate plan and reviewing an estate plan is, what do we do with the cars? Do we put the cars in the trust? Well, obviously that's a gray area and there are a lot of answers. So let's kind of start with the basics. Why would we put the cars in the trust? Well, that's easy because then we avoid probate. But here's the issue is oftentimes we're getting new cars. We're trading in our car, so then we have to redo that, re-put the new car in the trust, and that can become a little bit complicated. What if we leave it outside of the trust? Well, if we have all of our other money in the trust and then just a couple of cars outside of the trust, in Colorado, we have something called small estate probate, which I believe is $75,000. So if we have a couple cars, they're each worth $30,000. We're under that $75,000. That is quick, easy, fast, small estate probate. For the cars, everything else avoids probate because it's in the trust. But some other things to think about are, I had a conversation with an estate planning attorney about this recently. I said, what do you do? What do you tell people? I typically say, putting them in the trust is maybe not worth it unless you have something like this bad boy fully restored that would be worth $300,000-$400,000. That changes the game. But for most of us, we don't own one of these. So we just have some basic cars that get us from point A to point B. So what happens if they're not in the trust? We have to go through probate of some sort, whether that's small probate or regular probate. We're going to get our letters of testamentary, which means the beneficiary is able to just say, I'm in charge of deceased person's stuff now, so I get to make some decisions. We also have, if it does fall under that $75,000, we will get the letters of administration of small estate, and then that makes the whole process easier. But what happens, that's kind of a pain. Both of these are a little bit of a pain. This one less of a pain. This is regular probate. This is small estate probate. They're both still a process that if we can avoid it, we probably want to avoid it. So if we can avoid that by putting it in the trust. But question mark on putting the cars in the trust. And this is kind of new information to me, thanks to awesome local estate planning attorney who I asked about this. And what he said is something that I didn't think about before. He said, you get in a car accident and it's your fault. You hit somebody and you're going through the insurance, and the insurance company or the other vehicle owner sees that your car is the title, the registration is in the name of the trust. Well, what do they think automatically? They think this person has money. So what are they going to do? They're going to milk you for everything that they can because they see that your car, your Honda Accord is in a trust. If your Honda Accord is in a trust, that signifies to the person who was the victim in the accident, that signifies that you have money. So they're going to come after you. So that's something to think about. Maybe we don't want the cars in the trust for that simple reason. If we're just driving around our Honda Accord, we get in an accident, it's our fault. Title's in our name, they're probably not going to think much of it other than, dang, this is kind of a bummer. This person needs to pay for me to get my car fixed. Their insurance company needs to pay for me to get my car fixed. Okay, so what is the best scenario? In Colorado, again, new news to me, we have something called a beneficiary deed of something. We'll drop the link in the email so you can look it up. It's a simple form, one-page form, doesn't even need notarized, which is kind of crazy because it's a pretty official form. But it's just a beneficiary deed for automobiles. So what happens is if you pass away and your car is just in your name, you no longer need to worry about probate if you have a signed beneficiary deed for your autos. Again, one-page form, really easy. And you don't have to put it in the trust either. It just stays in your name. So what happens? I pass away, car's in my name. I have signed this form, and I've signed it over to Kelsey. All Kelsey has to do is take it to the DMV. My car is now her car. Avoids probate. It's not listed in the trust, so if I run into somebody, they're not going to think that I'm rich and they're going to go after me. So that is probably the best solution for what to do with cars when it comes to the estate plan. Again, we'll drop it in the link, so feel free to share this video. I think it's pretty awesome information. Definitely a great recommendation from the estate planning attorney that I talked to about this recently.